One of the things I try and teach people first off is how to escape. AJ is going to be helping me with some of these techniques. When we're working with a partner today, try and work cooperatively. The fact of the matter is the people who you're working with have probably never done some of these movements ever in their lives. And you're going to show them, you can't get away from me. Well, you're taking away their opportunity to learn. And if they really try, you might get hurt. So be easy, be cooperative. If your partner's doing it very well, and then they say, you know what, hold me a little bit harder, then go ahead and do that. Keep in mind, if you grab them over and over and over again as tight as you can, they're going to end up with a really bad burn because they will escape. It's just going to create a lot of friction when they do. Okay? All right, let's start out with some escapes. AJ? We're going to do these facing several different ways, so don't worry if you don't get to see it. We're going to start out in the middle so everyone sees what we're going, and we're going to turn in several different directions. Move over a little bit more. Okay, don't hurt me, AJ. One of the things I always have to be careful when I work with bigger people is that they know that I'm the teacher. Be nice. When we escape, it's very important to remember that the sooner you know to make the move, the better off you are. If I'm talking to AJ, you'll notice I talk with my hands a lot. And I talk with my hands a lot because it creates a distance between me and I. If I'm standing like this when this person walks up to me, it allows for him to get really close. If I'm talking with my hands and I have my hands out in front of me, it just gives me another 6 or 12 inches before he can grab me. But what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a real simple wrist grab escape. He's going to grab my wrist on the same side because I'm talking with my hands all the time. So it's really easy for him to reach right out and grab it. If I wait until he's got a hold of me and then I try and do my move, it's going to be really hard. Not really for me because I've been doing it a long time, but for most of you it will be. So what I want to do when he grabs my wrist is I want to see that coming. I want to try and move as quickly as I can. Let me break down this move for you without aging. All I'm going to do is I'm going to start out, it's the same side wrist grab. So your opponent has reached over and grabbed your wrist. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my thumb down, so my palm is down towards the ground. And what this is going to do is it's going to take this very wide, thick bone, and it's going to make it very thin and narrow. And that right away is going to give you more power. Right here, if I try and escape, it's very difficult to do because I have a very big bone. Here I turn it, and all of a sudden it becomes much easier. So what we're going to do is turn that hand down. The other thing we're going to do that's different from what most people would think is instead of pulling our hand away, we're going to push our elbow forward. We're going to turn our palm down, step in with the same foot, and bend our elbow forward. What this does is it creates a prying escape. I'm going to pry my hand free. Make sure you got me. If I try and pull, he comes with me if I'm strong enough, but it doesn't make me get away. I'm going to first turn my palm down, which gives me a little bit of space, and I'm going to step in, pushing my elbow forward. This allows me to pry free. Okay, does that make sense? Let's do it with the other wrist so that we can see it differently. First thing first, very important. If I try and do that pry, as effective as it is, without turning my hand, it's a very thick bone. Turn the palm down. He's not going to be able to stop you. Most of your skin is not that tight. If your skin is so tight that you cannot turn your hand down, well, I want to talk to you after this class. The fact is our skin moves. And so when we turn our palm down, the skin will move. We can do that motion. I haven't changed him at all. I've simply changed my position. I'm going to step towards him and push my elbow forward. And that'll pry my hand free. You notice how I keep my elbow on top of his arm. This allows for a very natural counterattack because he's not able to defend himself. Does that make sense? Okay, so with your partner, all you're going to do, one person is going to grab the wrist. You're going to turn your palm down, step in with the same foot as the hand that's being held, push your elbow to their elbow. See how my hand is still even with his hand? See that? His hand is right where it was. I've simply moved my elbow past it. Try and make sure that your elbow's on top. That's a little more advanced, but if it can be there, that's better, so that you can step in with your extra. Okay? Go ahead and try that with your partner, and AJ and I will come around and help you out a little bit. Go ahead.
Grab me first.
Okay,
so you do. Grab it. Yep, just like that. Good.
Oh, good. Now stay there. Don't move. See this hand? Doesn't really have a job. Make it a job.
Feel that change?
Okay. Now step away from her, because once you get away, you definitely want to go. Go ahead and grab her wrist.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, good. What's your other hand going to do?
Can you feel that?
Wait. She must have known this one, huh? Whether or not you're doing this motion sideways doesn't really matter as long as you're using the basic principle. When he grabs my wrist and I turn my hand, I need to take the path of least resistance. If this building suddenly caught on fire, I might eventually get out that way, but it wouldn't be the smart way to go. It wouldn't be the path of least resistance. I would go through the door. Makes more sense. Same thing here. If he's holding me here and his hand is opening on this side, it doesn't make sense for me trying to escape this way. But if suddenly, as I'm trying to escape, his hand rotates, well, I'm still trying to go sideways, but his fingers are in the way now. So I need to change the direction of my escape so that the thin bone, right, comes between his fingers, the path of least resistance. So this is why I said earlier to Kathleen, slow it down a little bit. Yes, the fact is that when he grabs my wrist, I can go really quick. But as I said earlier, I've been doing it for a really long time. Let your partner grab you. Turn your hand. Feel what's going on. See. Oh, I got it. Okay, there it is. This is how you want to do it hundreds and hundreds of times. Nice and slow, nice and cooperative. Did I say that earlier, to work cooperatively? I think I did. Didn't I, Kathleen? Didn't I? I've got Julie over there. Go ahead. Go ahead. What's the matter? The fact is that we want Kathleen to feel confident that this will work. You need to slow it down a little bit so you can see where the path of least resistance is, otherwise you bang your head on a wall. And your partner doesn't want to think of different ways to counter your techniques. Oh, what's the matter? Can't you get away?